Just all kinds of noises this morning, and I have no idea what's going on in the background. As always, that's not working the way it's supposed to be. There's so much going on this morning. Let me explain some things to you. The shirt I am wearing, proudly supporting the veterans of comedy, is not the color that you see. I have special ordered some shirts, and in order for them to just to vary up the style a little bit, I wanted to vary it up a little bit, and what I didn't realize is I could have just done this. I could because the shirt I am wearing is the same color as the green screen that's behind me. So whatever color I put on the green screen behind me is going to be the color of the shirt that I wear, but it also blends in to the screen that's behind me. So to be the least distracting as possible, I just dropped everything from behind me and put it to black. And yeah, could have saved my money. could have saved myself some money and not purchased multiple different colored shirts and just gone with a green shirt and changed those colors over. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It's time for the Sunday Supplemental. A lot of gremlins out there this morning, a lot of strange things happening, but it is what it is. As they say in Spanish, eso sí que es, right? It is what it is. On the supplemental, what we do some things. We tell you about your national days of the week. We tell you about some community service events or wrong camera. I got that going for me too. Sorry. We do community service events, and then we finish it up with a little trivia contest there at the end. And it's fun when there's people playing along. So those of you who are watching this live, you can play along. If you're not watching this live and you're watching this later, you can still kind of play along. You just don't get the live accolades that I give out to people who are participating live. You just get normal accolades. I have bit my tongue. And as you know, when you bite your tongue, you continue to bite your tongue. Especially, I would just prefer to be silent today and just shut my mouth and stop biting my tongue. But I'm here for you. So we're gonna push through this. I'm going to do my best not to bite my frickin' tongue anymore. It's now time for your national days of the week. Starting with today, the 30th of June, it is National Asteroid Day. But it's also National Meteor Day. Both of them falling on the 1st of July. If you've been studying your near-Earth objects of late, we've had a couple of close calls. Had a couple of big old space rocks out there getting a little too friendly with the neighborhood. And then NASA decided to run a little simulation to find out what would happen if one of those big rocks decided to come crashing on in. I got news for you, folks. It ain't good. It's bad, okay? And we don't have the ability to deflect a large asteroid. And we don't have the ability to predict when large meteors are going to hit. You want to have some fun, go back to 2013 when a large meteorite flew through the skies of Russia and turned the night into day before destroying like 1 billion trees. And blasted out windows everywhere. It's the 30th of June. It's National Asteroid and Meteor Awareness Day. Moving on, the 1st of July. Wow, there was a whole bunch of stuff on the 1st of July. The one I chose for you, and they choose the 1st of the month to list all of the weeks and all of the things that make up this month. But we go with days, national days of the week. The 1st of July, National Chicken Wing Day. It is a Monday. Korean chicken place is right down the street. They make some good Korean chicken wings. I might have to change up my schedule a little bit. Might have to enjoy some Korean chicken wings. I like me some Korean chicken wings. especially when I don't have to make them. On the 2nd is your National Excuse Day. The excuse being, I forgot. I'm not kidding. It's National I Forgot Day. On a Tuesday, go figure. The 2nd of July, I Forgot Day. National. I don't know who comes up with these. On the 3rd is National Air Condition Appreciation Day. Or as I call it, every day. I come from a time when air conditioning was not the standard. I do remember life before air conditioning. It sucked. Enjoy it while you got it. Until the giant asteroids come. On the 4th, yes, of course, it's Independence Day, but it's also National Indivisible Day. Hola, Wapa, she's gone. She's taking him out. I see you doing hand signals. Yeah. The 4th of July, not only is it Independence Day, it's Indivisible Day. Yes, indivisible. Right, whatever. It's also, because why not, it's also National Invisible Day. Think about that for a second. I could just wait. I'm going to make myself invisible. You get a little bit of the logo and you get my head, but for the most part, I'm kind of invisible. That's what you get. And so that's National Invisible, Indivisible, and Independence Day. All of that on the 4th. On the 5th, there's no better way to celebrate your post-Independence Day celebrations than in a bikini. It's National Bikini Day. I'm taking that day off. Maybe I can convince a certain someone to put a bikini on. Make my day. And finishing off your week, we go back to where we started. Next Sunday, National Fried Chicken Day. Now, if you don't understand how delicious Korean chicken is, then and if you don't have the opportunity to have some fried Korean chicken near you, too bad, so sad. But, what's the one? What's your favorite chicken place? I'm curious to know. It's got to be Church's. Yes. If there should be some danger in getting quality fried chicken, and I've never seen a Church's that didn't have a little danger element involved. Those have been your national days of the week. I'm going to go back to the black screen here so that I don't look as indivisible or invisible as I was looking. Yes, back to the black shirt. Not the blue or the purple, just black. Plain old black. What do we got in your community service events and notes for you? Well, the Enola Fire Department Enola Volunteer Fire Department, number 3, I've never seen the other 2, is doing their cookout thing again, where they'll cook up some chicken on the grill and sell it to you for $12. Not only do you get half a chicken, you also get a baked potato, you get a roll with butter and a little applesauce. You get all of that for $12, and all of that money goes to support the Enola Volunteer Fire Department number 3. That is the 13th. July the 13th. I'm giving it to you in plenty in advance so you can make it and put it on your schedule. It's between 10 and 1. It's on the 13th of July, between 10 and 1. It costs $12 to get you a tray, to get yourself a little tray there, and the money goes to support our local volunteer firefighters. It is at the AmeriChoice Federal Credit Union, which is at the intersection of Wirtsville and East Penn Roads. Very easy to find. Plus, they bring out the fire truck to make it easier for you to find. It's you just drive through the parking lot, and they'll hook you up, and you're good to go. That's what you got there. Moving on to This Week in History, trivia style. This week in history, a trivia style. Uh-huh. We went back and forth with ChatGPT on this one to make this happen. I see you got some viewers out there, so hopefully you'll pop in. Here we go. I'll give you the question. I'll give you some time. I'll give you some multiple choices. Feel free to chime in at any point. And if you don't chime in and there's no one playing along, I will also play along, and I will guess my answers to the best of my ability. Starting with question number 1 on June 28th, 1914. Which event triggered the start of World War I? I know this. I know this because I tell people about this event and how this one person killed millions and millions of people. And no one knows his name. The event that occurred on June 28th, 1914 did trigger the First World War, which triggered the Second World War, and all of the people that died in both of these world wars died because of this single event, which in and of itself was a fluke. Do you know what it is? Do you have a guess? What if I gave you some multiple choices to choose from? Was it the signing of the Treaty of Versailles? Was it the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand? Was it the Battle of Somme? Or the sinking of the Lusitania? Which one of those events triggered World War I, which then triggered World War II? Any idea? Absent of any viewers or any responses, I shall tell you it was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Yes, and a tragedy of events that occurred there. Moving on. Oh, that's my guess. That's my guess. We'll find out if I was correct once we get to the end. Question number 2. On June 26, 1945, the United Nations was signed in San Francisco. What organization was established by this charter? I think that question kind of answered itself, I think. Let's read it again. On June 26, 1945, the United Nations Charter was signed in San Francisco, period. Which organization was established by this charter? I ask AI not to make the questions too difficult, but damn. Let's see what our options are. NATO, the European Union, the United Nations, or the League of Nations. I believe the answer is in the question that the United Nations Charter, which was signed on June 26, 1945 in San Francisco, is responsible for establishing the United Nations. That's just my guess. I could be wrong. Question number 3. What spacecraft carrying the first crew to land on the moon why is it July 16th? I specifically ask AI for this week in history, the week ending in 30 June, but this one is 16 July 1969. In 16 July 1969, what spacecraft carrying the first people to land on the moon? What was it? You got some options out there. Mother, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. We are on question number 3. I'm going to go back in time real quick. I'm going to give you questions number 1 and 2, see if you can answer them. Question number 1, June 28, 1914, what event triggered the start of World War I? What event started World War I? Was it the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the Battle of Somme, or the sinking of the Lusitania? Those are your options. Question number 1. Question number 2, on June 26, 1945, the United Nations Charter was signed in San Francisco? What organization was established by this charter? Options: NATO, the European Union, the United Nations, or the League of Nations. Those are your options for question number 2. Question number 3, the one we're on right now. Which spacecraft carrying the first crew to land on the moon launched on July 16th, 1969? So they have the answer, right? And I know the answer. I don't want to give you the answer. I think it's just too easy. They give you Gemini 4. They give you Mercury Redstone 3. They give you Soyuz 1. And then they give you Apollo, and they give the number. And I think if I gave you the number, you'd know. So there's a bunch of Apollo missions. Apollo is the answer. What number was the mission? Ha 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 ha! You didn't think that was going to be that easy. I know the answer. I'm not giving it away. I'll give it away at the end. All right. I gave you enough clues on that one. Question number 4, more than halfway there. On June 30th, 1859, which famous naturalist published his groundbreaking work on the origin of species? Hello, Simeon. It's great to see both of you there. That makes me happy. What famous naturalist published his groundbreaking work on the origin of species, June 30th, 1859? That is question number 4. Your options are Alfred Russel Wallace, Gregor Mendel, Thomas Huxley, or Charles Darwin. Again, I know the answer. I don't want to say my answer. I want you to answer. That's what you're here for, to answer. Question number 5. What significant event occurred on June 29th, 2007? All right. Again, we are training our robot overlords in everything that we do. In all of our communications, it's nothing but the robots learning how to rule us, how to domineer us. Well, one of the things you don't have to worry about right now is AI taking over trivia. Because the rest of this question, for the second time in these 7 questions, actually gives us the answer. So I'm going to go with what significant event occurred on June 29th, 2007? And I'm leaving off the end of this question for a reason. Here are your options: the launch of the iPhone, the release of the iPod Touch, the unveiling of the MacBook Air, or the introduction of the iTunes Store. So it's definitely an Apple thing, right? The rest of the question was when Apple released, and then it tells you what the answer is. The launch of the iPhone, the release of the iPod Touch, the unveiling of the MacBook Air, or the introduction of the iTunes Store. Make your guesses known as we move on to question number 6. Ooh, okay. On June 27th, 1954, which body of water was officially opened for navigation connecting the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean? June 27th, 1954, what body of water was officially open for navigation? Again, I know this. I know this because I've been there. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been on the water of this location. Is it, for your options, the Panama Canal, the Suez Canal, the Erie Canal, or the St. Lawrence Seaway? Those are your options. Which one is it? The great thing about making it multiple choice is you can easily rule out the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal because neither of them are anywhere near the Great Lakes. They're in Panama and Suez. Finally, your last question of the week. What iconic American author and humorist was born on June 30th, 1835? American author, iconic American author, and humorist, born on June 30th, 1835. The original iPhone was released on June 29th, 2007, is what Mr. Morgan is offering up. Going back to that question, June 29th, 2007 is correct. That was the first iPhone. If I would have read you the entire question, it would have also told you that's correct. The entire question, I'm not lying, this is how it's written. What significant event occurred on June 29th, 2007 when Apple released its first iPhone? Question mark. So yeah, they kind of gave that one away. All right, so the question number 6 was how do you get from the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean? And finally, question number 7, what iconic American author and humorist was born on June 30th, 1835? Was it Edgar Allan Poe? Was it Mark Twain? And they put into parentheses Samuel Clemens. Thanks. Was it Nathaniel Hawthorne? Or was it Washington Irvine? Those are your options for iconic American author and humorist born June 30th, 1835. Short of your guesses, I'm just going to push through. All right, here we go. Going over my answers. I know that in Sarajevo, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the precursor to World War I and World War II. And that is the correct answer for what happened on June 28, 1914. The United Nations Charter established the United Nations, spacecraft. It was an Apollo spacecraft, and if you guessed correctly, it would have been Apollo 11. Who was the Origin of Species author? That was Charles Darwin. The launch of the iPad, Mr. Morgan captured that correctly, and as did the question. The St. Lawrence Seaway, not the Erie Canal, of the remaining options, is what gets you from the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. It's a series of docks and locks and docks. And Finalmente, the humorist, was the clue that gave it away. He was an iconic American author and humorist. That was Mark Twain, also known as Samuel Clemens. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That is the supplemental for this week. We did our National Days of the Week. We talked about the fire department there, volunteer fire department number 3 of Enola, doing their little thing. And, of course, we did This Week in History in a trivia contest. Mississippi River, Erie Canal, St. Lawrence Seaway. It was St. Lawrence Seaway. It was St. Lawrence Seaway. And that wraps up the supplemental for this week. As always, I remind you, just be the best person that you could be. If you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Check Bruce sends her love, and I'll be talking to her in 30 minutes, taping a new episode of The Lunsby Show. Remember, you can find The Lunsby Show anywhere fine podcasts are sold or given away for free. And you can check us out there on the YouTubes, on the Spotifys, on the iTunes. We're anywhere. Join us on our fan page by searching the hashtag LUNSB. Lunsby, love you. Now say bye. Or love you. No shit. Bye. All right, everybody. That's going to wrap it up. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to fade to black, baby.